And then Hira, and Allah Ta'ala starts giving him the first lesson in the Holy Quran.
Yes.
Ikra bismi rabbika allazi khalaq khalaqal insana min alaq. My question is, sir, could you kindly give us the background of these two incidences? Number one. Number two is it true, sir, when any surah was revealed, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim was part of it? And number three, sir,
the second
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim was taken as a part of the surah, whichever was revealed. Number three, sir, when Allah Ta'ala revealed this verse, He didn't say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Is that a special reason? I wonder if you could explain these three, please.
3 or 4? You lost count, in fact. The first two verses applicable to different situations. So there are two. The first.
But you got the question.
Pardon?
I hope you got my question.
Questions, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Yes. The situation which you say has so beautifully been described in the Holy Quran is again self-evident. You know what the situation is. So what are you asking about? The fact is that Hazrat Musa saw a light, flickering of lights. He was in need of fire. He thought it was somebody's fire kindling over the mountain. So he went for that material fire. But instead what he saw was a sign of Allah, and instead of getting the material fire, he got the light of Allah instead. So this is the ways of Allah as depicted in the Holy Quran, that people go or deserve small things, but Allah bestows upon them much larger than they desire or they want, what they want or what they deserve. So these are the ways of Allah. Moses went for a smaller thing as compared to what he got. So even if you strive very little in the path of Allah, His reward is out of all proportion to your striving and labor. That is the significance of this incident.
Was he prepared to accept what was going to be given to him, sir?
He did accept it. He did accept it, didn't he?
He did, yeah, but it was a big surprise for him, you see.
So what? So it was a surprise for Hazur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What then? I mean, what is the question?
The question is, I wanted to know the background.
You see, what the point is, that this is a sign of the truths of the prophets, that they don't intentionally seek prophethood. They never, in their innocence, they never believe or never aspire for such a thing. They are so humble in nature. They have no design. So both these incidents tell us that whatever was bestowed upon Moses, or whatever was bestowed upon Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, was not out of their desire or design, because their natural reaction was that of extreme surprise. They were not prepared at all for what they were given. So that shows the inner thinking of the prophets, that they are completely innocent of that responsibility which is ultimately thrown upon them, without any desire in the least. So when the people turn to them and say, you have concocted things, you want to become a big man and this and that, all that is belied by their first reactions. What is the second question? Second part of the first question? Or third one perhaps? Yes, unless I've got it. The fact is that the first verse which was to be revealed was to a mind who was not prepared to receive. So he had to be prepared. This is why the first words spoken to him were Iqra. Speak, read, recite, all these things are covered by word Iqra. So he hesitated. So if somebody had said Bismillah Rahman Rahim to him, he would not know whether he is expected to repeat the words or not. So first of all, as a first lesson, instead of saying Bismillah Rahman Rahim, it was said Iqra, Bismi Rabbika Allazi Khalaq. So Bismillah Rahman Rahim is replaced again by Bismi Rabbika Allazi Khalaq. You recite in the name of that being who has created. So you are bound to follow him, you are bound to accept his orders, that sort of thing is imperative. And the reason of that order is also mentioned in this Bismi Rabbika Allazi Khalaq. Because he is your creator, so you have to obey, whether you like it or not. So when this was revealed, then Bismillah of this surah came later on to be placed before this. In order of revelation, it is not necessary that in order of revelation, whichever precedes must precede. It is neither necessary about the surahs nor about the verses. There are verses revealed afterwards which were put in order before those verses, which were revealed later on. Which were revealed earlier. Those verses which were revealed earlier, precedence was given over them in many instances to the verses which were revealed later in time. So the surahs which were revealed earlier put much behind in order of the arrangement of the Holy Quran. For instance, the last surah, this very surah, is in the last chapter of the last part of the Holy Quran, while it is the first surah. So that arrangement of the Holy Quran has nothing to do with the chronology of its revelation. The arrangement was made under instructions from Hazrat Jibreel. Allah instructed him to help Hazur Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam organize the Holy Quran in its permanent position. So the order of revelation was different. It was to meet the requirements of that time. But the permanent order of the Holy Quran was designed to be different, which was to stay forever. So this is why there are differences between revelation, the time of revelation, and the placing of that verse or surah. Before your second question, I should like this boy again to, this young boy.
So are Muslims allowed to be cremated when they die?
Cremated, it's quite right. Yes.
Are Muslims allowed to be cremated when they die?
No, this is not the practice in Islam. They are expected to be buried.
Instead of, if someone wanted, instead of...
From the Holy Quran and from the tradition of Hazur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his practice, all that we know is that the Muslims should be buried. Nowhere in the remotest there is a mention that any Muslim was ever cremated, or in the Holy Quran there is no mention of other prophets who got cremated or who permitted their followers to be cremated after death. So that is against the practice of Islam.
So why do Hindus believe to be cremated?
Because they are not Muslims. They follow their own religion, their own customs.